Okay, this is hi everybody. Welcome back to the Greek Time podcast. Or if this is your first time, thank you for joining us. My name is Thank you for joining us. If you are new here, my name is Savannah. I'm one of the co-hosts.
I'm Joann. I'm one of the co-hosts as well.
Hi, I'm Abril and also co-host.
And so this week we're going to be talking about a little bit of advice for people who are looking to join Greek life and also um, the positive and negative about Greek life. So I'm gonna wait for a couple more people to join and then we can kind of get into it. But we'll go ahead and while we're waiting for more people to join, how's everybody's week been?
For me, it's been pretty good. I think it was yesterday. I went to the gym at 5 in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of people at the gym, and I was like, you know what? Let's try in the morning. It was good, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I could do it again personally.
No, I'm not a early bird at all. And next week I have to, because I work at a summer camp. Next week I have to open, and I am not looking forward to that at all. Like I have to wake up at probably like 5 because I have to go in at 6:45.
What time do you have to wake up?
Probably like 5, I think, because it takes me a while to get ready, and then plus I like to
Get some
lollygag, and
coffee, homegirl.
I but yeah. So basically, so for anybody who's looking into Greek life, what would be like y'all's main thing that y'all would tell them?
Mm, I think personally, for me, like I have discussed this before, just to look at different organizations or like which ones that you see on Instagram or like I know there's also family members that suggest different orgs as well. Um,
Mm-hmm.
just look into all of them because there's different stuff that they uh, different stuff. Sorry, that they view on. For me personally, that's what I did. I don't know about y'all.
Yeah, no, I with me for Greek life, I would say definitely look at all of the orgs, like you said, and take the advice from others, but also don't like take everything that they say to heart. Because I remember whenever I was thinking about joining Greek life, and one of the parents at my job, he is a Sigma. And so I was talking to him because I was like, I'm in between these two orgs and I really don't know. And I was like, what's your advice for me? I was like, the one that I'm wanting to join is a lot smaller, but it makes me feel like very welcomed. And then the other one that I want to join, yeah, they're national, like they have all of these like good things, but like I just don't feel that connection between me and the chapter. And he was like, well, your connections right now in college don't really mean anything. All that matters is the networking that you can do. And he was like, and if you don't have sisters all over the place and you go to a random state, who are you going to rely on? And I was like, I kind of side eyed him because I was like, I don't think being a part of Greek life should be all about like networking. So I was like, well, yes, that's like a good point to make. Like, I'm not gonna have a random sister in Arkansas or like Iowa, but like my sisters know people, and so yeah, I was kind of like okay. So that would be like my advice to like ask around, but also to like go with what you feel in your heart too.
hmm
I'm sorry, I'm trying to make an Instagram post right now first. But I think her thing is lagging and I don't know if she's able to
Oh,
fix. Okay, she just left the stream.
I think she's trying to fix it right now.
I think so too.
I think probably her Wi-Fi might be.
Maybe because whenever she was on, it had like my Wi-Fi box up here. It had one bar, but yeah. If you're watching right now, comment down below.
No, what's it called? I feel like what he has is a good point as well. Like I didn't even think about like you can go to a different like state
Uh huh.
meet up with a sister and you'd be like, you be safe because you know like they have good intentions for you. I never thought about it like that, to be honest.
Yeah,
Since
no,
like,
whenever he said that to me, I was kind of like, huh, you do have a good point. But, like, I don't know. It just felt kind of, like, wrong in a way.
mm-hmm,
It, like, rubbed me the wrong way.
mm-hmm.
But, yeah,
You good?
I think maybe.
Sorry, bro. My computer's like super laggy.
I just posted this on Instagram. DJ Dinta said, I am definitely watching. Thanks
Good.
for your support. Oh, that's an idea. I'm gonna put it out here. That way. But okay, April, are you good?
Can you hear the background or no? On my background, right?
Mm-mm.
No, okay.
Wait, can you hear me?
Like, yes.
Yeah. How's the quality on y'all's side, viewers?
Okay, I'm sorry. My computer's like.
So I want to see if it's lagging.
I'm gonna log back on and off. I'll be right back.
Okay.
That's good. No, it's okay. I can't post on my side because I'm using my phone.
No, okay.
Bro, DJ Dean always tap on me on my computer because it's old and it's broken. Like I had to change its battery because it's like exploded on me and the camera doesn't even work. So I had to and use my phone.
I know. My sophomore year, I think, I bought this MacBook and I've had it ever since. But the like second week that I got it, I spilled sweet tea on it whenever I was on a Zoom for work. And I was like rushing trying to like log on and stuff. And I hit my cup with my computer and it spilled everywhere. I had to go to the Apple store and get it fixed. And that was the worst like time ever.
I would cry, to be honest. I'd be like, damn.
For real, I was so sad. Hi, little. We're waiting for April to log back on so we can continue with our chat. But how is y'all's week going, viewers? What is Juani say? She goes 1996 Dove. But yeah, how is the? Well, I mean, she's not on anymore. You wonder why I have to check every. Oh, hey, you're talking to the wrong people. She said that she couldn't find her camera, and so she's struggling with that.
She probably put it somewhere that she can't find it.
My week has been so good. What's been the best part of y'all's week, viewers? Dun dun dun. For real. For real. DJ Dintab, I didn't know that you were doing all of this last week. I have like 2 screens going and it's making my brain like I'm trying to look here and see what we're doing like in real time because YouTube lags by like 10 seconds. And then also like looking at the comments, looking at the video, make sure it looks good. So that.
You need 2 monitors for that.
For real. This is like the behind the scenes that nobody gets. Maybe next week I'll make a TikTok or something.
Mm-hmm.
I have multiple screens, lol. I know, I need to get like you. But I mean, I guess we can continue with our chat. It just is sad without April. But what other like type of advice will you have? I guess let me make up a scenario. Like let's say that there's this girl and her what was I saying? Like, okay, let's say a freshman comes up to you or a sophomore comes up to you at orientation and she's like, my mom is in this sorority and she wants me to join the sorority with her, but I like this other sorority. Flashback to Zoom calls during COVID. Like, Like, let's say her mom was in SDL, but she wanted to go SLA or DAS. What would you advise her? And she's like, I'm torn because I really like these other girls, but my mom really wants me to join this org.
Oh, you're asking me or ask? Right.
I'm asking you.
Oh,
What would be your advice to her?
I
I'm
was
coming
lost.
up
I
with
was
a
like,
quick scenario while we wait for April to join.
um, I
If
think
she
oh, sorry. Um, I think I had like some situation with some girls that actually went up to me for tabling when I was in TW for transfers.
Mhm.
I definitely say to them, whatever you feel comfortable in. Like, of course, your mom's going to give you suggestions exactly the same way, like how they're going to give you suggestions in life. You have to try out things before you can make your own opinion about it.
Mhm.
Other people, sisters, I say, I know also like a different organizations do different things, so you might feel more comfortable with them than what your mom suggested you to. Because what if, yeah, your mom and you can be like two different people, and you feel more comfortable with the other org than the mom, what your mom suggested you.
Ooh, I have a really good question because um, DAS they have a what's the word? They have DAO. So I wonder if they ever get girls that only want to join because their boyfriend is in DAO. That's a good question.
Well,
I
I
don't know.
would.
If what? I know I wouldn't know either because we don't have a brother org. But I wonder if
Yeah.
they get girls like that and how do they like be like, no, if they
Like,
even have that happen.
or like how they figure out like, oh, because I know like there's some situations some people pick for the wrong reasons,
Mhm.
and they'll be like, how would somebody find that out?
For real. That would be another thing, like another piece of advice that I would have for somebody would be to make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons, not just, oh, because my friend's joining it, or oh, because they stroll good, or what's another reason why people join? Oh, just because I want to go party. Make sure you're doing it because, like, being Greek is a lot. It's very busy all the time. Like you're always doing other things and like yes, there's that like social aspect, but there's also like the service and like educational aspect of it as well. But I
I
don't
would
know.
agree with that. I feel like it's like a full-time job that you're not getting paid.
For real. I know my mom always calls me and is like, do you not love me anymore? You never want to talk to me, blah blah blah. And I'm like, girl, I'm always busy. Like today I worked from 9 to 6. I showered and then I like literally got onto the podcast. And I'm like, I'm always doing something and I have a discussion tonight. So it's just like being in Greek life, like, yes, like I take on extra roles just because I like the busyness of it. But like it can get very overwhelming too.
Mm-hmm.
That would be another thing is making sure that like your mental health is right. Cause I know a lot of people will like try and join or they will join and then once they get in, they're struggling mentally and it's like you feel like you're drowning because you have like school and you have this new thing that you just added on your plate and like your mental health. So I would say another piece of advice would be to like make sure that you're okay, like mentally, physically, emotionally, because being Greek does take a toll on like your self care aspect.
Mm-hmm.
My little is the best VIP guest every single week.
My cat's just staring me down right now. She's like, you're not giving me enough attention. I don't.
Hello. She's like, this is not a part of our regular routine.
Yes, she's like staring me down, and I'm like, but I got off topic. I'm sorry, but I would 100% agree with you on that.
Because your like mental health is so important, and I feel like there's so like I feel like our generation like what's the word takes it very seriously.
Yes.
Um, because like it's like I said, it's very important, especially like when you're in college and you're doing a lot of things. Like you have to make sure that you're taking time for yourself and
Mm-hmm.
like doing things just for yourself, just in general. Like that would be okay. Segueing to the next part, the positive and negatives about Greek life would be like I would say like a negative aspect of it would be like the amount of time that it takes up. In a sense, it would be negative because like obviously hanging out with your sisters is a lot of fun and like it doesn't ever feel like you're losing your own personal time. But then like once you're done hanging out with them, you're like, oh my gosh, like I haven't had a chance for myself today. And then like you just keep going. So I would say that would be like a like 50-50 would be the time aspect of Greek life.
I would 100% agree with you. I feel like for me, sometimes I like to hang out and do a lot of social events and take a lot of stuff on. And then I forget that I have to do stuff behind the scenes, like assignments, studying, um, like cleaning up my room. I feel like that's a big aspect I always sometimes forget. And then, like, when it comes to like last semester, I took me and my sisters, we did a lot of social events. And it was like I think mid semester, and I was like swamped, and I have to do a bunch of stuff, and I had to do exams, and I was really stressed. I didn't know what to do, and
Mm-hmm.
and then top of that, we have to do like community service. We have to do certain things that we have to do, or like do like a lot of stuff like we have to do behind the scenes that is not shown, and
Mm-hmm.
it stressed me out, like you said, mentally, and you wouldn't know how to like express it instead of like overload you more because you're like I can do, you know what, I'm just overreacting, no, I can't, and then you just burn out at the end.
Gaslighting yourself is what we do. But I agree, like cleaning your room part, because during probate season, in my room is a disaster. It's like all of my shirts that have letters on them are all out everywhere. Like all of my jeans that I wear, like everything is just all everywhere at all times. Because it's like they're always like back to back to back, which is like a lot of fun because it's like, oh, I have something to do every day. Like I never get off of work. But it's like, oh my gosh, like driving to Fort Worth, which I don't mind, or driving to UTA. It's just like, because I love probate season, but that, like, that, and then it's always in the middle of the semester that people have like takeovers and stuff. So like making sure you're doing your midterms before you go do this, and it's just like ugh, annoying. Or going to the event and then leaving the event and having homework to do. It's just like a reality check. You're like, oh my gosh, like I'm actually in school. I'm not just here to like have fun and like party and stuff.
Yeah.
Because one time, actually, we moved our chapter meeting back so that way we could go to an event. That was the most chaotic thing that we've done. That, and also rushing a chapter meeting because we had like 3 topics to talk about. Rushing a chapter meeting so that way we could go to TCU, and then we ended up getting to, because I at UNT and TWU, like I feel like they put an end time or a start time on their things, but it never is actually like right, because they'll either run over or run late. But at TCU, they do not play. They don't know what Greek time is at all over there. So it was my little and her LS. They got to TCU first, and we are like 5 minutes behind them. Alyssa. Um, what's the word? What was I saying? Oh, like they got there first, and they got there at like 9:55, and the event was supposed to end at 10. And we're like, nah, they're probably gonna get pushing for another hour. They got there, and they were like, actually, we need everybody to leave because the event is now over. So we ended up just like sitting at Taco Bell for hours. Like we left at like 2 a.m. from the Taco Bell. So it was a good memory, but it's just a lot. Greek life is a lot. But that would be the positive, is a turning something not so good into like a good core memory. So that's one of my core memories, because there were kids sleeping in there. It was weird. Oh no, that's a whole another story. But positive would be community service, obviously, if you like community service.
To be honest, now I do. I used to hate it with a passion. I don't know why. Because, like, I used to do it in high school. And I was like, why am I doing this? I was like, I'd rather, like, give out money than, like, doing the actual work until, like, I got to SLA. And I was like, no, wait. I actually like it with the like my sisters and stuff. I was like, this is actually fun. I was like, I think
That's
this is my
true.
hobby now.
Community, it just honestly, I think it just depends on what you're doing. Because there are some community service events, I'm like, why am I here? What are we doing?
Hmm.
And then there are other events, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so fun. Like we partner with a program in Denton called Goal,
Hmm.
um, and so it's a soccer program, so we get to like go see them play soccer and stuff, and do trunk or treat. So like all of that stuff is fun. But whenever it comes to like TWU's big event and they have us picking up trash, I'm like, yay, giving back to the community.
I feel like you have fun with it. You're like, okay, this is 20, 23. You just gotta count, and I'm
Literally,
like, you
let's
just
see
need to make it fun,
who can collect the most pieces of trash.
make it competitive.
Honestly, yeah. That's what we used to do, or whenever I did color guard, I we would have to walk through people's neighborhoods to ask them for money. Um and we would be like, okay, let's see who can raise the most money from all the doors. So we would like take turns knocking on people's doors. It was interesting, but it's a way to make things fun.
Oh.
Yeah. Do we
Mm.
think that everybody's gonna get back on?
No, what's it called? I'll say another positive is like, I guess connections. Like for me personally, I said it to the other podcast that I thought I was the only person that I felt like I was failing a bunch of classes for my prereqs for nursing, and I didn't know what to do or should I change my other majors. Like, and then I think one of the sisters, I don't remember because it was so long ago. They,
Mm-hmm.
like, no, you're not the only one. We have some sisters, and they told me like what steps they actually did, and it made
Mm-hmm.
me feel so comfortable. I'm like, okay, I can take a weight off my shoulder that I'm not the only one, that I'm not overreacting because everybody has exactly the same mental space. And I was like, okay. And then I actually met that sister, and I talked to them. They're like, no, like you got this. Like I'm even doing the teas right now. They send me like a bunch of information that they did.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, here you go. This is the way how I studied it. Don't worry, like you're not the only one. Like I was in exactly the same place as you when I was doing it as well.
That's a very comforting whenever you have a sister like that. That's like, take a deep breath, pause.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you need to do, and this you will be fine. Because it is overwhelming whenever you're like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Why can't I you feel like you're like something's wrong with you, and it's
Yeah.
like, okay, like nice. That's nice. That's so sweet. And then yeah, connections with like your sisters, and then also connections with other people who are Greek. Like this past weekend, I went to go see an apartment, and the like leasing agent, he was a beta
Oh
from
wow.
Arizona. And yeah, so we started talking to him about Greek life and stuff, and it was just a fun, like nice experience. And honestly, that kind of like sold me on the apartment. Because I was like, oh my gosh, he's so nice, and like he's Greek and blah blah blah. But yeah, I wanted to ask him like what school in Arizona he went to, but I didn't. Or like when he crossed and all of that stuff, because he was kind of young, actually, or young looking at least. He was like, yeah, I know a couple of the betas from UNT, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. And like he was like, yeah, I know people from TWU and blah blah blah. I was like, interesting. The world is so small.
Yeah. I feel like also like you gain a lot of people that you didn't know in the first place, and then now you do. Like you meet people from UNT, UTD. Like you wouldn't talk to them until like you went to Greek or
Mm-hmm.
like, Greek, if that makes sense. Because,
Yeah,
like for me, I was in like my own personal bubble just
yeah,
at you, or I just knew like two or three people, and now I know like a bunch of people that I wouldn't expect myself to get out there.
yeah. That's true. Because well, the cool part for me, like as far as like people like meeting, is like people that I met before they joined Greek life, and then seeing them afterwards. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. I would have never thought that you would have joined like that org, because one of the girls who's in SG Row, Aries, they had like a study night. Their in PHC at TW had a study night, and me and her were in the same class. And we were just talking about the class and everything. And like she was asking me for help, and like we were just helping each other because it was study night. And then she ended up crossing like later on, and she came up to me. She's like, "Oh my gosh, hey, like, how's this?" Or like, "How did you end up finishing up the class?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, like, I didn't even like click that in my head that you were the same person from then." So like now it's just like we talk all the time, and we even work at the same summer camp, not the same like location, but like I see her quite often. And so it's just kind of fun how Greek life can like mesh with your real life too, because a lot of the people I know, at least at TW, a lot of them have like are in the same classes with each other, and I don't know, it's just fun. It just gives you somebody you can sit with in class.
No, yeah. I would say I didn't notice until like I finished, or like when I was in my process, or like when I finished crossing. Um, I work at TWG Force, so I didn't know like I had a lot of like coworkers that were Greek, and
You're like,
"Shit."
awkward.
Like they came to my program, and I was like, don't tell I miss work, and she's like, "Don't worry, I got you," and I was like,
You're like, thank you. Yeah, it's like it is kind of cool, like being like, oh my gosh, you're doing Greek life, because there are in there so like people who you would never think would join Greek life who join Greek life. And you're like, what?
no, yeah.
Because I know two of my sisters, Camille and Hope, they work at the Chick-fil-A on campus, and they were like, oh my gosh, we're gonna be like celebrities tomorrow, like after their probate. And I was like, yeah, that's true. Because I was like, everybody goes to Chick-fil-A, and like now they're gonna know. And they're like, yeah. But yeah, Greek life is fun. It gets you building all those connections with all those people. But what are some negatives about Greek life? I can't really think of any besides like the time commitment.
I feel like mostly it's a big part for me. It's like the emotional part, like when it gets so overwhelming.
Mm-hmm. Like the mental aspect of it, because it's like I'm in 6 classes. I need to study for this test that I have. I need to start thinking about my certification. I also need to think about all of the things I have to do for my position. Oh, who's having an event this week? Can I go? It's like all like piles up after like one thing. It's like one thing after another. But then that would be my advice would be to get a planner before you join Greek life. That way you're already in the habit of having a planner and like planning out your days and stuff. I always preach to people to have a planner, but I never keep a planner myself. Like I have them, but I don't use them ever.
Have you tried the like Google? I think it's Google Calendar. I love that so much. I use it every semester. I don't know why. I can't do like paper planners. I can't do that. But like Google Planner that they have, bro.
You're like chef's kiss. I know. I have one, and it's kind of like it's from this store called Typo, and it's like a self growth planner too. So like each month there will be like a different like piece of advice or different oh my gosh, I keep adding an accent to it, or a different like mindfulness technique on there. It has like a water tracker and all of these things that I like keep in my head, but I never actually put on paper because I'm like a mentalist person. But I downloaded this app called Sortified, and it has like to-do lists and a planner in there, and you can share it with like people like you're either friends with or like you like live with, and that way y'all can like kind of know what each other's doing and like kind of hold each other accountable. So I'm gonna start using that. I just haven't figured out how to use it because I saw it on an Instagram ad and I was like, download anything to try and get myself to be more organized, because I'm productive, I'm just not organized at all.
About that with a passion. I think for me, I like it's so bad sometimes. I put like a mental note and I write it as like a sticky note, and then I just leave it on my bed or like on top of something like that. the bad part is sometimes they fall off, so I forget the whole thing.
Gotcha. What what I do is I like if my assignments for the week, I'll write a little sticky note and I'll put it on my laptop and I'll just cross them off as I go through the week. But one of my aunts, you're back.
Sorry.
One of my aunts was saying to like just put sticky notes everywhere, like tape them to the mirror, like tape them to your mirror, tape them to your door, tape them everywhere, like that you look at often, so that way you don't forget, like as far as like bills that need to be paid or assignments that need to be done or events I have coming up. And I was like, that's kind of smart because like if it's like out of sight, it's out of mind for me at least. Like I'm a very forgetful person. Like if I don't write it down or put it somewhere, I'm gonna forget.
Are you talking about like scheduling or?
Yeah, so we're talking about, well, we kind of been going back and forth, but I was saying advice for people interested in Greek life. I was saying to get a planner, and then I was saying how I never keep a planner, but I always tell other people to get a planner. And then we are talking about ways that we kind of keep ourselves accountable when it comes to things like that. Because we were saying Greek life, it can be overwhelming a lot of the times because you have like your own personal stuff that you have going on, you have school stuff, you have your positions, you have all these events that you want to go to, and just yada yada yada.
Yeah, I would definitely say to add to that, I was like, definitely time management is really important because like it starts adding up more, and especially like I would say people get like let's say during like recruitment week, it's like, oh, we gotta go table, go do this, go do that. So it definitely does get there are times, time management really important.
It is. Oh, and then I had a question for you. It was like as soon as you clicked off because we were talking about just like Greek life in general. But I was saying, have you? Well, I don't know if you're able to share this. Tell me no if you can't. But I was saying, if y'all ever get girls, since y'all have DAO, that's y'all's like brother org. If y'all ever get girls who just want to join because their boyfriend's in DAO, and like if y'all do, how do y'all like? How do y'all handle it or deal with that?
Well, at least, since I've been in DAS, I haven't experienced that. But I would say, we get to meet, the girls, and so I feel like sorry, I think my messages are going off. Sorry, I'm probably my cousin's computer, and like the messages just keep going on. I don't know if you guys see the messages.
Is it a MacBook?
It's an Apple. You see, I'm an Android person, so like I
Okay,
don't know the Apple.
on the MacBook there is a like little moon at the top, and if you click it, it'll put it on do not disturb. Like on the keyboard.
Oh, okay. I'm over here looking at the top, like, Okay. Well, I think they're done. Okay, because I don't see the moon anywhere, but
It's on mine it's on F6. I don't know if that's right on that. I don't know how old that one is.
Oh, I see this little thing. Okay, I'm gonna press it. Hopefully it works.
Yes, and then it'll put it on do not disturb. And then no more dings.
Okay. Oh, I think it was just the brightness. But okay. My bad, guys. You guys might hear some things over here. I say we always we want to meet whoever like who our potentials new sisters would be, so we kind of get like their attention, like we'll get to know like why is it that they want to join, because everyone joins for a different reason. But I will say I know there's a lot more like once they join then they become like, oh, there's more like relationships. Like I have two of my LSs who are in a relationship with two of my LBs, so like but like beforehand they didn't have that like, oh, I'm gonna join because of this or that. It just happened.
That's good. Because that would be kind of awkward being like, no, you can't join because you're not doing it for the right reasons. Or like how would y'all like help somebody or kind of like encourage them to not join Greek life if they're doing it for the wrong reasons? Like let's say they just are joining just because they want to party or just because their friends are doing it. Like how would y'all tell them no? Or would y'all let them join?
Okay, I guess I can go. Just jump in. But I would say honestly being straightforward with them. everyone knows who they want to join into their org, and
Mhm.
that's obviously there's other things why people join. Just be straight with them up front, like, hey, this is what we do. This is what you're gonna be joining. It's not gonna be just all this. I know there probably is maybe other sororities or fraternities, whatever, who are meant for all that, but
Mhm.
like be honest with like who you are and like what your org, what you guys do. That's
Mhm.
my, but yeah.
That's a good point. Like being like, hey, by the way, like this is what you're signing yourself up for, just to let you know. Like, we do party, we do have fun, we do all of this stuff, but at the end of the day, we still handle business.
Yeah. No, I what's it called? I had a girl that actually asked me one time when I was tabling. It
Mhm.
was like I was like, she was like, "Do you guys party?" And I was like, it kind of shocked me a little bit. I was like, I can see where you're coming from. I was like, but I'm a really straight up person, so it kind of sometimes sound rude or
Mhm.
kind of harsh. And I was like, no, we don't. I was like, we're not the type of people that actually do that. Like you said, yes, we do like to like have fun, but
Mhm.
we go to a professional setting that we have to do, and we present our letters for a
Mhm.
specific reason. So we wouldn't put ourselves in that situation. And I was like, I don't want to sound rude or like make you like uncomfortable how I'm going to perceive it as, but it's basically not showing insult, but like you don't know, so I don't know how to say it. Like you don't
Yeah.
know, so it's like you need to understand like some things are completely different and how like the movies are or how other people perceive it as, because yes, for like you said, other people do show it like that, but for us we take pride in what we do.
Mhm. That's
Yeah.
true.
Mm.
Because you can go have fun, or you can handle business and then go have fun. Like one time, actually, it was for UNT's homecoming. We had an event, like a community service type of thing. We did a trunk or treat for the program we partner with. And then, like, literally after that, we all went home, got ready, and then we went to tailgate at UNT. So it's like there's a play work balance when it comes to Greek life for sure. Especially, I feel like especially for us, for other orgs, I'm not so sure because I really don't like whenever it comes to Panhellenic, like I can't like I always get mad at them that they don't know about us, but like I don't know much about them and like what they do in the community because I feel like I only ever see them during like rush week, and then after rush week, then it's kind of like nothing.
No, I would agree with you on that. I feel like there for TW, there's a lot of girls that are in Paleolithic, but I didn't notice them until like I see them on their Instagram. And I feel like we should like, I don't know, it's like a TW thing. We like all should hang out in general to ask questions about them, and them for them to ask questions for us, because I feel like that's a miscommunication, like
Yeah.
both sides, that we do like see it and then we don't see it from their perspective as well.
Yeah, that's what because our advisor Darius, so sad that he is no longer at TWU, but that was like one of the main things that he really wanted to like for us to like build on, and I feel like we did pretty good because like even after he was terminated or whatever, I feel like we still supported the Panhellenic girls and like they still came and supported us because like we went to their rush week, like they went to our probates, they came to Greek showcase. Like I feel like Greek unity is something that should be like emphasized more because we're all like even though we're different, we're all like in Greek life together, especially with us and like in PHC because a lot of the things that we do are like from them. Because I know for SDL specifically, a lot of our founders were really close with the Noops and the Alphas, I want to say. And so like a lot of the things that we do, they got from them, like they're those like members being like, oh hey, like this is what we do. Y'all can do this. Like whenever y'all are making y'all's new org, which I found out at our convention last year. I was like, that's so cool. Like how it kind of all like comes from someone.
Hmm. I was gonna say, I know over here at UTA, we do have like a little, I think they call like, we had some like in the beginning, middle, I think, and the end, or do like little like cookouts. Well, it's like put by the school, not by us. But it's basically, or like we'll have like a game, like a fun like game night, and then like it's inviting for all Greeks to go, so that way we can get to know each other. So literally, all the different councils go. Obviously, if you want to go, you go, and then like you get to meet other Greeks. So it's not just like what you're used to, your own council. So I would say I would recommend that. So it's nice, like I said, we don't really know much about other people unless like you actually go out there and ask.
And take the time to learn about them and like what they do for sure. That's such a cute idea. I read that down.
Yeah, but yeah, it's fun.
What was I gonna say? It's actually funny that you mentioned that though, because whenever I went to UTA, because I'm an I'm an avid tutor, and so we toured UTA, and actually one of the members was in DAS. I don't know if you know who she is or not. I don't remember her name, but she does like the tours for the like school, like for like high schoolers and stuff. Um, and then like also whenever I was standing there, I saw that y'all have like a lot of Greek events, and it could have been like the time that I went because it was around probate season last fall. It was the day we went was literally right after y'all's line for the fall. And I was like, oh my gosh, congrats! I was like, thanks. But yeah, I was like, they have a lot of events over here. Like I feel like at TWU, like we have a lot of events, but not very many Greek events. It's like a couple at the beginning and then a couple at the end, and then that's it. So that's really, I like that UTA does that. Like you're like a big community.
It's like saying like Greek unity, not just through the through like the little people, they don't with everyone.
Yeah, that would be like the positive is like you get to meet a lot of different people, not just people who are like you. Like you get to meet everybody, adults, kids that are your age.
True.
But did you have any advice for anybody that was looking for Greek life? I know that's kind of when you cut out.
Yeah, sorry. So my computer was just lagging, and then I realized I was like, "Oh wait, I think they're waiting for me to talk." But I'm talking, and I was like, "Wait." What do you call it? I try to listen to some of the advice that you guys were giving out, which are also I really like them. I always just tell people is that like to go explore the different orgs because like you won't know about an org unless you go experience it by yourself. And I also say like don't, let's say you have a friend or someone who says, oh, don't rush this people because they're like X or Y. I would say go find out for yourself. Their experience may have been different, or they may like their vibe maybe match with this org, but you never know unless you go out there. So I always say go open-minded, because there's always gonna be stereotypes or different like talks about different orgs, but if you go out there, find out. So that'd be like my main thing is go out there, explore. There's nothing, what do you call it? Like nada te cuesta. Like I don't know how to say that in English.
Like nothing hurts, basically.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, nothing hurts. Yeah. So like that's my way.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. Like of like what you hear from other people. That's true. Because that's weird that you mentioned that because my freshman year, me and my roommate both went to a recruitment event, and I didn't click with any of the girls. Like there's nothing wrong with them or anything like that. It's just like we didn't have really anything in common, but my roommate fell in love with them. And I was like, that's really like I was like, I'm so happy for you, blah blah blah. Like but I was like, I just don't feel the same. She was like, yeah, that's fine. Like I get it. But because I dragged her to the event, she didn't drag me to the event. And so I was like, that's kind of backwards, but it all works out in the end. But yeah, going and seeing for yourself. That's a good point. I didn't think about that. But okay. Well, we are coming to the end of our podcast. Does anybody have any questions, comments, or anything that you want to share before we log off in a few minutes?
I don't think I do.
Let's see, because there's a couple of people watching.
Hello, everybody watching.
And to everybody that's watching after the live, you can comment your questions down below and we can get back to you next week. I told my sister to watch the podcast and I can hear her in the other room watching it. I can hear myself through there.
Does that trip you out at all?
Yes, because I'm like hearing it behind. Because the YouTube is behind already. So like that's even more behind.
You're like, that was me. Cause I know whenever like I'm on the phone with someone and like they put on speaker or whatever and I hear my voice, I'm like, whoa, like that's me.
For real. But, okay. If there are no more questions, we're gonna go ahead and end the podcast now. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.